and trying to break those guys down?
Yeah, easier said than done. They're obviously impactful around the basket, rim protecting and rebounding. A lot of it just comes down to spacing. You know, your margin for error from a spacing standpoint goes down when you play against size. So, you know, you certainly can get cracks against anybody, but the bigger they are, the more impactful they are at the rim, the more you have to make sure that you get the floor space properly when you attack.
How valuable was the time that Dub was out to adjust on the fly with him now not available to you, and what will be important in that adaptation process in this game?
I mean, you know, we've been through this multiple times over the years. We try to have a system and a team that can be highly adaptive. Even when Dub's available, he's not on the court all the time. So we're used to playing with units without him. We'd like to have everybody available, but when they're not, we try to make the most of the opportunity and try to expand the team in different ways, and that's what we'll do in the circumstances we've done all along.
Obviously, how impactful J-Dub and Isaiah Hartenstein are for you guys, knowing that they're not going to be on the floor tonight. How do you maintain the identity that you've crafted while having personnel that might be different?
Kind of the same answer. You know, we try to play to a certain identity that's based on fundamentals and the strengths of the players that are on the court. You know, and so again, you know, we were without those guys for a period of time, but you know, the guys we have identities and styles of play that we have confidence in, and we always try to use these circumstances. They're never ideal, but we always try to use these circumstances as an opportunity to continue to build up our team and build up the confidence and the impact of the players that are available. We've benefited from these stretches and found silver linings in the past, and that's our challenge in this circumstance.
How difficult can it be to maintain that team identity when the personnel switches from night to night?
You know, we're a team that over time has just never tried to use any of this as an excuse. You know, every team deals with certain truths in an NBA season with 82 games. You know, your schedule at times is tough. You have injuries at different times. There's times where you get a bad whistle. There's times where the other team shoots the ball really well. There's other times where you shoot the ball poorly. Those are very predictable challenges that you face in an NBA season, and we try to be a team that looks at those things as an opportunity to grow our muscle and not be a victim, not shift blame, take responsibility for our performance, and ultimately, if you take that mindset to those challenges, you can get stronger from them.
Mark, the Cavs lead the league in three-point accuracy this month, and they're third in attempts similarly for the season. Any specific way to minimize the shots they get up from distance, or how do you approach that defensively?
Yeah, they didn't shoot the ball well early and below expectation early. It's similar to what I just said in terms of different challenges that teams face. I mean, they just missed pretty good looks early in the season, just looking at their metrics. And so, yeah, a lot of it comes down to shot contesting. A lot of it comes down to the rhythm that the offense is able to create prior to the shot. And you just bet on that possession after possession, knowing that they're obviously a potent offense that's capable of big nights, even if you do that well. But if you want to shift the probabilities in your favor, then certainly you got to be on it against them.
Obviously, you don't want to see anyone get injured, but with them specifically having already gone through the wrist injury, just what is your reaction to this newest one, and just what are you hoping to see out of him in terms of how he handles this process?
I mean, I always feel bad for guys. You know, this is their life, you know, and they put so much work into it. And in his case, he put so much work into getting back. He's already missed a chunk of time. So I always feel for guys when an injury prevents them from playing. You know, it sucks, but, you know, that you got to play the ball where it is, you know, and that's what he's got to do. You know, he's got to put one foot in front of the other and attack the return to play as he's always done. It's part of professionalism. It's part of mental toughness. And that's what he is. You know, he's a pro and he's mentally tough. So I have no doubt he'll do that. But certainly from, you know, I'm empathic anytime a player gets hurt with how much these guys invest.
People always talk about the disease of more when a team wins a championship. That next run can be a lot harder. Hard to keep up the start you guys had, but still, you know, 5.5 games clear of second place in the West. How do you guys manage success?
It starts with the people we have in terms of in our locker room. You know, our guys are pretty grounded people, and they have high team orientation, and they're highly competitive. And so they enjoy competitive challenges. and they are inside the team. They root for each other's success and like belonging to a team that, you know, chases team success. And that's been the mark of this team over time. We've never been perfect in that endeavor, but you know, certainly that's what we aspire to do, and the guys do a great job of bringing that to life. And so they've done an unbelievable job this season handling coming off a championship and a hot start that's put us in a similar type of territory.
I'm sure you guys talk amongst yourselves in the league. Books have been written about this sort of topic. How aware are you of how rare that kind of culture is?
I mean, to be honest with you, we're just like when you're with your own team and just kind of going through your own schedule, you're not really looking left and right. You know, every team's different. Every group of guys is different. Every team's challenges are different. They pop up at different times. And so we just try to be very present, you know, with this team at this time, taking on the challenges that are right in front of us, being, you know, in the present moment together. And, you know, that's served us well, you know. So we really haven't done a lot of like deep research on everybody else, nor are we really looking left and right, even in the course of the season. We're focused on Cleveland today because we play them, but after that, we'll evaluate our performance and figure out where we need to get better and where our opportunities are, and we'll get ready for Milwaukee.
How do you measure your team's three-point defense?
I mean, shot quality, you know, opponent shot quality, that's based on a number of factors. How open the shot is, where the shot's taken from relative to corner three, non-corner three, deep off the line or on the line, who's shooting the ball. You know, we've, like every other team, we have an army of analysts that, you know, can gather that information for us very quickly and give us a really good idea of the quality of our threes and really any shot on the court, not just threes, and the quality of the shots that our opponents take. And it's just an unbelievable tool because it allows you, in the emotion of the season, it allows you to be very sober about how you look at your team's performance. There's games where you know, I think we played a game against Golden State a couple weeks ago and we won big and it felt like a great win. And then you look at the data from that game and it turns out it was kind of a shot-making night for them and us. And we didn't play as well as we might have thought and might have felt. And then the opposite happens. And so it just allows you to more accurately identify how your team's playing and get you out of the emotion of the competition.
You played the first couple months last year, obviously, as a rookie, but the jump that AJ's made this season, how would you describe that jump? And for someone to be a second-round pick contributing to a championship rotation the way he is, I feel like that's kind of unique.
I think if you really dig into how he played last season, it's not. It would be in context. You know, it looks like a jump optically, but he was kind of on this trajectory last year. He was playing rotation minutes right off the bat. And when he got hurt, he was really starting to gain some traction. And then the injury prevented him from kind of this type of jump, if you want to call it, last season. Then he did a great job with his body over the summer and obviously gained the confidence from the experiences he had last year. I think he gained confidence from the preparation of the playoffs. That was 23 additional games that he was one circumstance away from being in those games. He was live for us in those series, even though he didn't play a ton. I think that was helpful for him. And then he's done an incredible job this season to the point of kind of integrating with a team that was a really good team last year. He's done a great job of threading the needle between like confidence and team orientation. You know, he's highly confident and aggressive, but not at the expense of the team. And he doesn't allow the team orientation to get in the way of his confidence and aggression. He's just got an unbelievable feel for you know, how to thread that needle. The team's done a great job of allowing him to do that. And I think how hard he competes, especially on defense, gives him a lot of margin for that. I think, you know, he's a guy that is laying it on the line, not just with the ball in his hands. He's playing every possession hard, regardless of whether it's offense, defense, whether he's on ball, off ball. He's done an incredible job.
How would you describe Shea as a leader?
I mean, the biggest thing is he just walks the walk. You know, it's in his actions. He's always kind of had that. He's an incredible worker. He's got incredible vision. He's incredibly consistent. He's a good person. He treats everybody well. He's respectful. He's kind. He's empathic. That's with teammates, staff members, fans, referees, opponents. You know, he treats everyone. He's like the golden rule guy. You know, he treats everybody the way he'd want to be treated. He's grown as a person since he's been married and has had a son. And the ripple effects of having a player of his status that acts the way he does on a program and on a team is invaluable. I mean, he's one in a billion.
I know you said you don't look left and right, but like, obviously you said it there. A champion, a player who's an MVP, but still having that level of humility is rare in this league. Like over the course of it, what do you make of how that impacts not only him but the players around him?
Yeah, I've said this many times about, I think the way that things are, with the NBA, the visibility of it and the status of it is when you become as good as he's become, all the gravity of that kind of pulls you outside of the team. It just naturally, it's not anybody, it's not personal to the player. But if you want to stay inside the team, it has to be an intentional decision. And that's from a distance. One of the things I've always admired about Curry is he's been a guy that he's like a superstar among superstars, and yet he seems like he's super plugged into that team, and he's still like one of the guys. And that's what this guy's got. He's got all the gravity that could be pulling him out of the team. He's on the coverage EQ. He's got all the stuff, but yet he just wants to be one of the guys. He's a member of the locker room. He's as normal as can be. And again, the ripple effects on the team, the locker room, the organization, it's such a game changer.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep, thanks.
See you guys after.